This question says, to what extent does this study by Baron Cohen et al. Change our understanding of disorders? Now, this question is all about, does this new contemporary study that we've looked at change our understanding of the key theme? So the key theme in Baron Cohen is understanding disorders. So if you think about disorders and you think about what we used to think about disorders, we used to think that people that had disorders were like insane and were kind of like possessed by a devil or were a witch, or we kind of had negative interpretations of disorders. And Freud kind of came along and told us that it was just because the person's mind wasn't functioning the way that it should be, and it could be like their unconscious mind, making them behave in the way that they are. So if they get therapy, then they can be treated and they can, have a kind of a normal life. Now, Baron Cohen's kind of found that um, people with disorders aren't necessarily unwell. They just kind of think differently to other people. So, somebody with autism is not really like a mental health disorder, but it's just, it's a neurological disorder. It's a problem with the brain. So Baron Cohen's kind of showing that psychometrically you can measure disorders in terms of you can measure the effects that they have on their behaviour. So you can do that in kind of a quantitative and a scientific way, because you can use the eyes task, get a number, and it can tell you whether the person lacks theory of mind or not. So Baron Cohen's a lot more scientific when he talks about disorders. So it makes our understanding of disorders a lot more valid because we can scientifically measure them using those psychometric tests. Baron Cohen also kind of suggests that um, those kind of individual differences, everyone's kind of different, and somebody with autism might have a kind of different way that they look at things, so like the point I was mentioning before. So essentially kind of Baron Cohen does change our understanding of disorders. We know a lot more now that somebody with a disorder is not necessarily unwell, doesn't necessarily need treatment, just kind of needs dealing with in a different way. Well, not dealing with, that's kind of the wrong word, but kind of communicating with in a different way. The Baron Coins has got lots of practical applications for people who care for those with autism, in terms of like not using things which require them to have theory of mind, not to make jokes and be sarcastic, and kind of to be very, realistic with how they talk to people, so that there's an understanding there. So our understanding of disorders has changed dramatically because of Baron Cohen. So you can talk about all that kind of stuff in the answer.